Hello everyone, my name is Nobuhle and we are at the Amazwi, which used to be the English Museum. I'm not going by myself, I've got Jeffery, my cameraman, and we also have Mr. Tom, who's here, who will be helping us with taking us through everything which is here. Please stage. Would you please explain why do you have letters placed in this fashion?
It spells literature through the spine of the exhibition. It's a design feature, basically. The designer created it to emphasis on the meaning of the whole museum, which is a literary museum.
The Literature Museum?
Yeah. So that spells literature through the spine of the exhibition, which states our purpose.
And I recently saw or heard that the English Museum has changed into Amazwi.
Yeah, Amazwi.
Yes, would you please explain why the change?
Sure, we were what's called NALM, the National English Literature Museum.
Okay.
So we just collected English. There was no mandate to collect only English writing.
Okay.
That was changed. It's been a long process. The past 5 years has been a process because it goes through Parliament to change the National Museum's mandate. So long process must be go through Parliament. So in the past 3 months, it's finally been formalised. We now collect all 11 official languages literature. So I don't collect language, I collect literature. So creative writing, plays, scripts, authors' letters and notes, that kind of thing of their work. So the collections area is behind this building. It's a whole big collection bunker.
Okay.
And then there we're going to have, collection now is mostly English because we have a long period of just gathering English material, obviously. But now we're going to collect all the languages. First is Xhosa is our first mandate change because we're obviously in the Eastern Cape, it's a primary language. That will be our first focus, collecting that literature.
Interesting. So, Mr. Tom, do you think that the change of name to Amazwi, does it link with the change of university names, like and the statues as well?
Well, you mean the process of statues
Yes,
being?
yes.
Well, I mean, the links obviously conceptually. The name change process isn't geographical. It's a process that happens in arts and culture. So there are links conceptually, but not in practice. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's a response to a process. It's a response to the changed needs of communities in the area and of the country. You know what I mean? Obviously, in the heritage world, we were very, very aware of statues being vandalized, for want of a better word, or shall we say, altered.
Okay.
Yeah, because obviously heritage is a very sensitive area. It's a contested area, so we are aware of that. And Amazwi becoming a broader institution is in some ways a response to that.
Okay.
You know, we need to address many people's different needs rather than just one.
Now we're standing in front of a very interesting, I don't know what do they call it,
A sculpture.
a
It's a
sculpture.
bust. Yeah.
It's Guy Butler. So what about him?
He founded the museum in 1981, before 1981. He was a professor of art.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was a writer, academic, and during the 70s there was a lot of South African writing was being sold to American libraries and universities. So he wanted to prevent that happening and to keep it in the country. So he founded a centre to collect South African authors' writing.
Oh, okay.
That's how the museum was founded by this man in the 70s. And then in 81 we declared national institution, National Museum.
Please do explain to us the setting of the Thank You in
Cool.
quotes.
This section here, this changes on a regular basis. It's every 6 months or so.
Every 6 months it changes.
We'll be changing soon again. This is people have given us big collections of material.
Okay.
So people donated their personal collections of material they gathered in their careers. Right now it's about theatre. So it's saying thank you to people who give us important collections like Barton Simon and so it'll change over time. It'll be like we might have poets who helped us next to novel writers.
Interesting.
Just to recognise that people have helped the museum and give us collections.
Okay. Yeah. And will you please explain why do you have such a unique design in terms of maybe displaying the information, your literature? Why is it sort of like a poster, instead of maybe having books all over and all that?
Well, we had a long process of design planning. It was a 5-year process from the first idea of the museum to having this in place.
Okay.
So, as a museum of literature, it's hard to avoid having too much text, too many books in your exhibition. You know what I'm saying? You usually end up with a wall of words. So we had a long process for speaking with designers about how we're going to design and make it very visual, we tried to get a lot of images throughout the exhibition to emphasize points rather than just having text saying what we want to say. So the design is a presentation between the research team here and the designers who did the project for us at the time. So it was a long process of getting to this design.
To come up with this
Yeah.
design.
The background, the same designer who does the big lectures did the design of the substructure with the curve and flow you see.
Yes.
Then we had a graphic designer did the work of the prints.
So do you know each and every story which is laid out in this design?
Yeah, we have to. We all have to know everything. It's hard to remember everything, but we're all familiar with it.
This part is screaming at me. Would you please maybe give us a brief on this?
Well, this first part looks at the origins. What the origins? The earliest English writing in South Africa, the colonists who first came to South Africa, writing about what they saw in South Africa.
Okay.
So this here, we saw this here's a picture of Gama and Makhanda. This is a very small piece of it, which is a commentary on the colonial perception of South Africa when they first came.
Oh, okay.
And how they sort of mangled what they really saw in real life.
Yes.
Because I mean, the colonial writing wasn't actually accurate. It was very much a case of pleasing audiences back home and being very inventive of what they really saw in the country. It wasn't actually a reflection of the accuracy of what they saw in the country. So the writing you'll see in this section here, this is about that, the sort of myth making of South Africa. And this is my favorite. This map here shows this is South Africa up here.
That's South Africa.
Yeah, and that's the Garden of Eden in South Africa.
The Garden of Eden.
Garden of Eden.
From
yeah.
the Bible.
Yeah, because there was a set of myths about the country that the European people believed. They didn't really know what was there at the time, and the writers made stuff up essentially about what they saw, what to please audiences at home. This as well. This map over here. Christopher Columbus, you've heard of him obviously,
Yes,
created this map to justify going to the west instead of the east.
Okay.
Instead, South Africa was so far to the south, there wasn't a passage around. And this map justified his travels to the west where he discovered America.
Oh.
So the point is that they made stuff up about the country to please audiences and to potentially entertain themselves.
So this is a mythical view actually of...
Yeah, it's mythical. I mean, the first writing of the country was mythical. It wasn't accurate.
Yes.
It was very much inventive about the people and the things they saw, the animals, the places.
Thank you. And just right behind the glass, these books, what are they about?
These are the first, some of our earliest books that we have in the collection. Early sort of travel logs. This one here is our oldest book we actually have in the collection, 1731, by Peter Colby. So you can see in these pictures, they seem accurate, but if you read the texts, they're not really accurate at all. It's all invented.
I also see Hottentots.
Yeah, Hottentot obviously that word's been discredited. It's not something we'd use anymore.
Yes.
There is no group called Hottentot as such. So, no, that's the thing. So lots of these books, travels in the Cape of Good Hope, people travelling through the country, drawing what they saw, writing what they saw, and sending it back to the audiences at home. That's where the actual written history of South Africa started at those times. Because obviously culture for them was oral, it wasn't actually written.
And this side of the writing, is it about flowers, gardens?
Well, there was also a lot of naturalists who came to South Africa at that time, collecting specimens and animals and plants that take back to the museums in Europe.
Okay.
Again, many myths. This is a unicorn. John Barrow, this is in the 19th century still. They still believe in unicorns at the time. He paid people to go and find unicorns for him. Obviously, he didn't find any actual unicorns.
So unicorns don't exist?
They don't exist. No.
You can carry on.
I'll show you this thing.
Oh.
This is a touch screen. So you can touch your area and you see writing about the places in the area. Alexandria is close by. So you can see two works that relate to Alexandria. Yeah. You can go back home again. Say you want to go look at writing about the ocean, and then choose different pieces of work about the ocean.
So the museum does not only just have collection, but it also has advanced technology.
Indeed. Yeah.
Super good, super fabulous. And Mr. Tom, please do explain or tell us a little bit more about these.
Okay, there's two typewriters. This is Herman Charles Bosman's typewriter, and this is one of Jane Cassier's typewriters. This is Bosman's typewriter. He believed had an aura, so when he was writing, he felt that his typewriter helped him to write, and that if someone touched it other than him, he'd know. He'd be very upset. His wife writes in her biography about how upset he got about people touching his typewriter. Yeah. This is Jane Cassier. I'm sure you've heard of him as one of our most famous writers, Nobel laureate. He used this one when he's writing his MA thesis. We have another one of his in the collection we're going to be changing out quite soon, in which he wrote Dusklands, his first novel.
So you also changed the collection?
We do, yeah.
How long do you...
Well, ideally you want to have nothing on display object-wise for more than 6 months.
For more than 6 months?
Yeah, because the light obviously will affect the pages and dull the page enough.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that this is less vital, but a piece of paper, a manuscript, for instance, will need to be changed quite regularly to avoid it being damaged with the light. Yeah. These lights are UV controlled, and we do monitor that every day to ensure that there's no damage.
Is this the accurate history of our country?
Well, as far as history can be accurate, yeah. But the whole story runs from here around outside. It's the story of South Africa through literature. So it's what writers have written about the country, how our authors have interpreted our country's history. Obviously, there's lots of difficult past in that sense. Looking at how our authors have written about South Africa and how they've interpreted the events in the country. That's the storyline that runs throughout this museum.
Okay. And is this contemporary?
Yeah, this part looks at how our literature has affected written literature. So obviously there was a lot of interaction between our literature and the written form. So it's this piece called Roots, because obviously written literature emerges from our literature. And also during apartheid times, there was a lot of censorship at that time, obviously, and one way to avoid being censored was to have not a written version, but to have a performance piece.
Oh.
So you would then perform your piece. It couldn't be banned because it was not. What do you ban? You know what I mean? But then they banned the people. So you know what I mean? But, it was a way to avoid censorship as well. But yeah, this piece looks at how English literature particularly has been affected by oral forms of literature.
And that sculpture,
It's done by one of our staff members. Relates to this part over here. This is about dystopian writing. Now utopia is a paradise, right? Dystopia is the opposite, is a hell on earth. So dystopian writing is writing that looks at potentially bad futures, it's like more of a warning about the future. So we'll be writing about, right now we have obviously environmental crisis. So a lot of us African writers are writing about that crisis of environment and how we should change our ways to avoid that. So, climate change, deforestation, overfishing, agriculture, all those different things that are affecting the environment. And this relates to that idea of dystopianism. It's obviously a future vision of a soldier, a peacemaker. We also have throughout the exhibition these screens. See, these are sound domes, and the sound on the screen is played to you in that one particular spot. It hasn't looked as well as we'd hoped, I must say. You can hear it still through the museum a little bit, the voices, but the sound does get directed more than you would normally have. So you don't have the sound echoing throughout the entire building all the time, which can be distracting for visitors.
So can you also say maybe the sounds will also help people who are differently able, like the blind?
Yeah, well, that's people who are blind like listening to the sound. We want to get closed captions and also sign language on the screen.
No, super cool.
That's definitely a plan for the future.
Sign language. Okay.
Can you sign?
I can sign. I'm a beginner. A book in heaven.
This is a big book for the kids. It's been here for a while, and you can see it's a bit damaged now. Because the kids love it. They'll come in, 2 or 3 of them changing pages, and they can read the big text. So it's basically, this area is for children.
It's for kids.
Yeah.
I'm very interested with the color. Why brown particularly? Because most of the books we have, they are all white.
We didn't write this book. This is a book from, I can't remember the name of the publisher now, but this book was created by a third party, and they gave us the rights to use it. So I presume that they did that as a choice to have a more cultural Museums traditionally are regarded as for white people, which is not a good thing. We want to have a more inclusive approach, as why we're now Amazwi as well.
Yes, a match.
Because obviously museums emerge from that European colonial origin, so we're still fighting the perception. Even in Grahamstown, we see it all the time. People come like, can I come into this building? They're surprised they're allowed to come in because it's a museum, because it seems so imposing on the outside. So we're fighting the perception. I'm not saying that this is how we do it, but I mean, that's one of the things, challenges we face, the perception of museums as European colonial.
Yes.
Limited.
It's Eurocentric and...
Yeah, but not anymore. We're not anymore.
Not anymore.
This is our story.
This is the story area.
Yeah, so the kids come here, groups of learners from schools around the area, come here and they will sit here and have storytelling with education people, and then they'll write. They can write a poem, they can do a drawing that responds to a story, and they can put it on the story tree and becomes a leaf on the tree.
This reminds me of Mama King, I'm sure.
She's been here before a few times.
She's been here. Oh
yeah. We do the Booker Festival in February every year, and she's one of the main people involved in that. So she's been here with us to work on that. She's great. She's very friendly.
Super. And all of these cards are from the students who come here.
Yeah.
From
Learners.
Okay.
This is mostly primary school kids that come and do this.
Primary school kids.
And we have the older kids are more interested in having a tour and a talk around the gardens, that kind of thing, rather than doing obviously
drawing. And the design of the building. Why do you have so many big windows?
Big windows.
It looks so. It doesn't even look like a museum from outside. It looks like a business company. It's so beautiful.
So the designer is London. It's a Tika architect. It's a green building. Do you know about the greenness of the building?
Greenness of the building.
Yeah. Okay, so it's actually, this is the first museum to have a 5-star rating from the Green Building Council of South Africa.
Okay.
It's a very environmentally friendly building. Design is supposed to reflect that green ethos. So it's not too, I think it's an imposing building, but the lines are quite flowing. They suit the landscape in many ways.
Yes.
If you go to the back of the building, you can hardly see it at all. There's a green roof on top.
It's green roof on top.
Yeah, there's plants on the top of the building that grow.
Oh.
And then so the back of it's not really visible. The flowing lines, as I said, the architect I think was trying to express that landscape idea. This volume, double volume, helps control the temperature. So we do have air conditioning, but the building itself is cool. It could not just cool, it balances the temperature and everything inside. Yeah. And the way that the building was built from conception through to completion, it was built with environmental things in mind, so low acid cement. Also the workers who were involved, there was a lot of requirements about that. They had to be upskilled as part of the green ethos of the building, because it's not just nature, it's humans and nature combined. I'll show you that upstairs, an exhibition about that in as well. So a 5-star green building, first time.
Mean that you allow people to rent maybe or to host their events in
Yeah, we often have events in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a very popular venue for weddings.
Look at the beautiful lights.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so luxurious, so beautiful. Forever green.
Have you seen the theatre?
No.
I'll show you the theatre.
Thank you.
This is the tech exhibition. The launch was last night in Manager Garden.
Last night?
Yeah, last night. It's brand new.
Brand new.
Come and see it. Manager Bob was a journalist, South African journalist, very important writer and journalist. She died in 2008. Her birthday would be yesterday. She's 100 years old. She was
She was a journalist.
Journalist and writer. She wrote 2 biographies. Important books, Drawn in Colour and The Ochre People. She was South African, lived in England for most of her life. Wasn't in exile. She travelled on a choice. She was very clear about that. But she did have an identity that was very sort of, shall we say, layered. She was black South African, she calls it, but she's also a British middle class writer. So she had a very complex identity. So her writing is often about that. She was the daughter of John Tenga Jabavu. John Tenga. He was the man who founded Black Opinion, which was the first black-owned digital language newspaper in South Africa. She has a very strong history of involvement in writing, significant writing in South Africa. Father and grandfather were both
Black Opinion.
Yeah. It's actually called Bantu Opinion, but we changed.
Yes, I'm thinking of Steve Biko right now. Yes, this is very, very beautiful.
Thanks. I launched this last night, so this is here.
I even like the structures.
Cool though. This will be travelling out into different museums around the country as well.
Just to prove that you're all about doing green, recycling. As you can see, plastic cans, glass and paper. Saving our planet. This is beautiful. Okay, wow, this looks more shwe. Yes. Wow, it's my first time in here. It comes from East London. Wow. Shwe. And the stage, wow.
Yes, beautiful. It's used by Rhodes music students a lot for concerts.
Oh, music and probably even the
the
choir.
choir, yeah.
This is very beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're having a carnival with 10th of Heritage Day. It'll be Ilan performing here as well for that.
Wow. We have to be here.
Yeah,
on
it's
Heritage Day.
Okay.
This is very beautiful, Mr. Tom.
Thank you.
It's very beautiful. And the pattern on the wall.
Coconut tiles.
Coconut
Yeah.
tiles.
It's environmentally friendly. It's also acoustically good at deadening sound. They don't get the echo. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Let's go upstairs and show you there as well. I don't know what this is. It should be here. Kids love it, that's it. You don't know. This is our temporary exhibition space.
Oh, temporary
Yeah.
exhibition space. Oh, okay. Temporary.
Yeah, so this is going to be up until the end of October. It's called Human Nature. It's about the way humans and the environment interact through South African literature.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's exploring people in the environment.
Mm.
Yeah.
The game reserves and
Yeah, this is the Pumba Game Reserve, because we actually have a partnership with them. They bring learners from Seven Fountains, Alice, and those areas to the museum.
okay,
Yeah.
and then you host them in.
Up here and down, all over.
And the writings kept in his glass. What's special about it?
Well, this is a man called Livingston. He was a marine biologist and a poet. In the 70s and 80s, he was writing and working. He was the first African author to really write about humans and the environment as a sort of entangled concept. So this is his work in here, because it suits the exhibition theme.
Oh, this is only his work in here.
In the cases, yes, just his work.
Which other museum are you working with maybe around? Do you have?
Well, Grahamstown, we work at the Albany Museum occasionally. Then more broadly, we're a national museum, so we speak to all museums in the country.
That's it for today.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. That's it for today. We have toured around and we've seen and we've learned. Yeah, so as you will be watching, I hope that you'll learn everything that I have learned today. Thank you so much, Mr. Tom, for taking us
You're welcome.
through the whole building, I believe. It is the whole building.
Well,
Yes.
half the building. There's another building behind it, the collections.
Thank you so much for giving us your time
You're welcome.
and for all the information. I've learned a lot, and
Good.
the building is very super beautiful. It is very beautiful. Thank you
Come
so
see it
much.
for yourself. Visit the museum.
Yes. Thank you so much.